Blackwood Asylum was built in 1898, a towering fortress of sorrow perched on a remote hill in New England. It was supposed to be a sanctuary for the mentally ill, a place where they could be treated with dignity and care, but reality was far from kind. Under the guise of treatment, horrific experiments were conducted on the patients. Torture, isolation, and electroshock therapy became the norm, and as the screams echoed through the halls, no one outside knew the truth, until it was too late. Dr. Samuel Harlow, the chief psychiatrist, was the mastermind behind these grotesque experiments. He believed that he could cure mental illness by purging it from the soul. His methods were brutal, and his favorite experiment involved what he called the darkness within. Harlow would isolate patients in a pitch-black room for days, claiming that their demons would be forced out in the darkness. Many never emerged. Those who did were never the same again. In 1923, a devastating fire engulfed the asylum. Some say it was started by a patient seeking revenge. Others believe it was Dr. Harlow trying to cover his tracks. The building burned for hours, trapping hundreds inside. Many were never found. Dr. Harlow vanished that night. His body never recovered, but whispers among the survivors claim that his spirit remains, lurking in the shadows, waiting for new victims. Decades later, Blackwood Asylum stands abandoned, a crumbling relic of its dark past. Paranormal investigators flock to the site, drawn by reports of ghostly apparitions and chilling encounters. The most disturbing encounters happen in the basement, the site of Dr. Harlow's infamous darkness experiments. Visitors report a suffocating presence, the sensation of being watched, and shadows that seem to move of their own accord. One investigator, Jenny Carver, recorded an encounter that would become infamous. She was alone in the basement when she felt a cold breath on her neck. Turning, she saw a shadow on the wall, not cast by her light, but moving towards her. She described it as a living void, an entity made of pure darkness. It whispered in a language she couldn't understand, and then it was gone. She fled, and the footage ends with her terrified screams. Since that night, no one has dared to spend more than a few hours at Blackwood. Those who do often fall ill or suffer from nightmares and hallucinations. Some believe that Dr. Harlow's spirit is still there, bound to the asylum by the souls of those he tortured. They say that if you listen closely at night, you can hear his whispers, calling you to the basement, inviting you to experience the darkness for yourself.